So, Dad, you got any scuttlebutt on what's going on in the NHL?
I wrote things down, and I have to, and I think everybody else, I wrote things down that I thought that would be interesting for, now, this is not in concrete. The National Hockey League say they're going to be open on January 1st, and the training camp's going to open December 15th. Now, with the virus, the way it's picking up, or whatever you want to call it like that, and there'll never be a bubble again like they had in Toronto. That was unbelievable. And, that was pretty good. The NHL and the players were pretty good. They stuck to it. There wasn't one, imagine that, there wasn't one case of virus or anything like that. See, the reason they're talking about that, and they want the Las Vegas owner let it slip about 2 or 3 weeks ago that they were talking about a Canadian division. Now, Canadian division is pretty good. First of all, you don't have the travel to start with, so the owners, U.S. owners would be happy about that. Now, I think you see, just grabbing one guy, you'd see McDavid 2 games in a row, and they're going to play 2 games to save travel again. Now, I don't know about the National Hockey League or the Canadian division. I don't know if they're going to do that.
Yeah, they were talking. That's one of the things that's coming out. Is they want to do it kind of like, in baseball, Cindy, where a team comes in and they'll play 2 or 3 games.
Yeah.
And that's what they're talking about, that because then it's less travel. Then it cuts down the travel even more. Right?
Yeah.
So that's what they're talking about.
We used to do that. We used to do that in the American Hockey League. We used to we used to travel to on a Sunday. We'd play Sunday afternoon, and it'd be jammed at Quebec Coliseum, and we'd play Tuesday. And boy, that second game was all, the rivalries. I mean,
So do players, do they hold grudges to the next game?
Oh, yeah.
They do?
Oh, yeah. And I remember one game, Rose Paymont. Was he
related to Wolf?
He was a brother. He was a brother. In fact, he had a bar. I think he's got a bar in Florida called a penalty box or something like that. And every time you go to Florida, I don't know what, I think it's in Miami.
I think it's in Fort Lauderdale.
Fort Lauderdale?
Yeah.
Is that where it is?
I think so, yeah.
All the Canadians go there to meet other Canadians. So you'd see McDavid.
But you were saying what happened with
Paymont.
With Paymont. You said
yeah, Rose Paymont. We were, I remember him and I don't know what happened. Jimmy McKinney. Jimmy McKinney was supposed to be another Bobby Orr. When he junior, he always makes jokes. But when he was junior, he was like Bobby Orr. And I don't know, Rose Paymont, and I don't know the first game, but the second game, they went at it. And Jimmy was a good player, but he couldn't fight.
And he was actually fighting.
Well, it was a rivalry, eh?
Yeah.
Because of the first game and then the second game, and that's what.
So what? Paymont. That's kind of weird because Paymont must have been older than McKinney, and he went after him.
No, he went after. I don't know. They had a fight anyhow, and I jumped in and I did the best I could. But anyhow, the NHL, they're going to have, if they do have the Canadian division, I think it'd be great.
They almost said that. They almost say pretty much that's going to be for sure.
Yeah, well, I hope so. Now, the first round will be 3 out of 4, like when they in the Canadian division would be 3 out of 4. This is what I hope they do. I don't know. I don't want to go down. And then the second would be 4 out of 7 to make the final. Now, I think it'd be great. U.S. U.S. against Canada, don't you?
Yeah, I do. I think it's, well, first of all, as we talked about it before, there's no rivalries anymore in hockey. And
you play in October, you don't play till March.
Yeah, so they would break it up. Like there's going to be, they call it the Metropolitan Division, so it'll be like Buffalo, Boston, New York, the Islanders, Philly. They would all be in, and then there's going to be the West Coast, and then the other teams are in the middle. Yeah. So I think what I would really think would be good is if they do that, and then if they do play 2 or 3 games in a row. Can you imagine, like, say Calgary's going into Edmonton and
twice?
I don't
know if they would.
They play twice, and Edmonton's 4 points ahead of them. That's a big. They got to win those 2 games. Like
it's a 4-pointer every time you play. It's a 4-pointer,
and it's going to be like it's almost going to be like a playoff format. And they're going to play 60 games. They were talking
about 48. They're talking about 48 to 70 games.
So it'll be like a sprint. But what I also heard is they have to get it over early because if the Olympics go on this summer in Japan.
Well, they don't want
that NBC says we got to go do that, so it has to be over by the spring, the Stanley Cup.
Yeah, well, they'll play 48 to 70 games. They'll play. Now the big deal is the players have to decide on this. Like they'll have to have a meeting like this. They're talking about the players only getting 75% of their money. Well, first of all, they have to escrow, and then they have to have taxes, and I mean, you go down the list. So,
but we were talking the other day, Dad. Some of the owners were saying just scrap the season.
I don't understand why the owners would even want to play, because if there's going to be no fans, where are they going to make any money? Like the basketball, football, and baseball can make money on the TV, the money that they get from the TV, especially baseball. And
football, they can play in empty stadiums and still make money.
I cannot see why the owners would want to even play, because they're going to lose money. They're going to lose a lot of money. And I own the Mississauga Ice Dogs, and let me tell you, what's the deal?
They said they're going to try. Well, there's a lot of stuff with the OHL. They said they're going to try to do it in the beginning of the new year, from what I've been reading in the paper. But Lisa McLeod of Ford's government said there's going to be no hitting. And the Quebec League started, and then they had to stop, except for the Maritimes. The Maritime kids are still playing. And then the Western League, they're talking about starting up soon. So, it's that. And then it's the American Hockey League. Nobody knows
nobody knows.
Nobody what's going on.
Hockey is up, and this virus has really caused a lot of trouble. And if there's going to be no fans, I don't understand why the owners would even want to play. And if I was the players, I'd be very, very careful saying I want so much money. Something is better than nothing.